A big thanks to borniak smokers for sponsoring this video.
If you're talking about fusion cooking, then this is the epitome of that. Fusion cooking is nothing but a fancy word for marrying two things together. Things that are on the opposite side of the spectrum and then bringing them together to create something beautiful. In this case, I'm talking about an Australian wagyu brisket. This is the pinnacle of barbecue, the king of the grill. If you master the brisket, you know you got it. This is something special. This always turns out beautiful. And the same goes for Asian ingredients. And I'm talking about chili peppers, I'm talking about ginger, I'm talking about garlic, all the good stuff. And there's only one recipe that can make beef even better. It is literally the tastiest thing that comes out of Asia. Of course, there are other things, but personally, I love Indonesian food. And the Rendang is my personal favorite, so I'm calling it. And this brisket is graded at F1, which is a lower quality than you would expect from the Japanese wagyu briskets. However, that's actually better for cooking barbecue because the amount of fat to meat ratio is absolutely perfect. No matter what you do, you won't be able to make a dry brisket out of this. But that's just a small price to pay for something as good as this. Normally, if I cook a brisket for my family, I never trim off the fat because it's something I like to have on my brisket. However, this time I'm gonna trim off the fat because I wanna use the fat in my recipe. So I'm gonna take off the big chunks that sit on top of it, and when I take a look at the bottom, there's actually a piece of beef here that doesn't belong on the brisket. That's the flat iron sitting underneath the brisket, and I'm gonna take that off and save it for a later day. So when the brisket is trimmed up, I'm going to take a pan, warm it up, put the brisket fat in and render it down. This is my favorite part. I'm gonna make boemboe, and of course I'm gonna need a lot of red chili peppers because I want my rendang to be hot. So I'm just gonna chop this up coarse. And as my good friend Huub taught me, don't worry about the stalks. The stalks are going in.
It's vegetable, it's green.
I'm also gonna add 9 cloves of garlic, a thumb-sized curcuma, and a thumb-sized ginger. Now, of course, I want authentic flavors, but I also need some brightness. So this is lemongrass, which I'm gonna bruise a little bit, and then I'm gonna cut it into finer pieces. And it's really, really tough. But once this goes into the blender, it's going to grind right up. To finish it off, in goes a quartered onion, lid on, and grind. And yes, I'm abusing this thing, but she loves it. I'm sure she loves it. I used to be an engineer. This is totally safe. Look at that. Beautiful paste. Absolutely gorgeous. This is the base of our rendang. Now I'm going to add 200 milliliters of my homemade beef tallow. And then all I need to do is finish it off with salt, pepper, coriander, and cumin. And this is when it all comes together. I wish you guys could just smell this. The fragrance is insane. It instantly makes me hungry. I'm gonna make sure I get this marinade everywhere. Then I'm gonna stick the whole brisket with the marinade in a vacuum bag and let it marinate for at least 2 hours. If you're not using a vacuum bag to marinate, I suggest you marinate this brisket overnight. This is the borniak smoker, and I'm guessing these guys know I'm using chili peppers today. This thing is an absolute beast, and it has room for a brisket or two. And what I like so much about this is that I can set it and forget it. It's an electric smoker and it uses really fine wood chips to create a beautiful smoke, and I can turn the smoke on or off whenever I want to. I'm going to set it to smoke at a temperature of 150 degrees Celsius. Normally you would smoke your brisket at a temperature of 120 degrees Celsius, but I'm going much higher. And the reason for that is that we got that marinade which has a fat base. So I want the outside to fry a little bit over time so I can build up a beautiful crust. But if I stay at the lower temperatures, the moisture inside of the brisket is not going to allow the outside to basically fry up. I'm gonna slide my brisket in, stick in my meter thermometer, and let the barbecue do its job. After around 5 hours, my brisket looks like this, and normally I would then wrap it. However, because of this beautiful rendang, I want to keep it exposed to the hot air, so all of the ingredients will fry up, and we get the most beautiful crust you've ever seen. The weather turned on us during this cook, but the brisket didn't. Look at this beautiful thing, it's absolutely gorgeous. Can you imagine electric smokers pulling off something like this? I know a lot of barbecues that can perform like this. Wow, that crust. And that's exactly what is needed. When you're making rendang, you're cooking it dry. If your rendang is not dry and you have a sauce-like texture, you didn't do it properly. Rendang, well, in Dutch we say gorddroog, like crazy dry. It's a next level dry. And that's what this is. We got the bark that I was looking for. I didn't even dare to wish for this kind of quality bark. And of course, that brisket is streaming juices out of it. This thing is insane. I'm gonna slice into it. I wanna take a look on the inside. Oh, big fat crust. Sliced into it with just 3 slices. Ooh. Oh. Oh, that is gorgeous. Juices are running. Yeah, baby. Oh. I'm gonna just keep on slicing. Look at this, this is so gorgeous. These slices are absolutely insane. But I'm most curious about that bark. What is that bark gonna be like?
Okay, so the following minutes are going to be like this. I'm just eating here, sitting, relaxing, and eating brisket with the most insane bark. I'm sorry, guys.
This is top quality brisket and it never ever fails. It is insane. It's juicy, it's tender. This is not the same thing as you would get on a normal brisket. These flavors are completely different. You gotta think of like the curry brisket that we did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the whole bark here is a little bit gone soft. Oh! I'm doing it again. I'm eating. I should be talking to you guys what I think about it, but you must have guessed by now what I think about it, right? What do you think about it?
I think it's insane. The reason why we do experiment like this, do crazy, like kind of like, it's not really an experiment because you're putting 2 things together that will work really well. And we did actually try this before with Huub. Huub is a good friend of ours and Huub made rendang for us. He used 90 ingredients to make rendang. And that's like the real shizzle.
Yeah.
You know you drink these energy drinks that called ginger shots? Mm-hmm. Take a rendang shot.
Yeah.
Rendang boemboe. It's like,
Gonna make you happy.
bam!
I got nothing to say anymore. But except I got a ton of ideas from this experiment.
Uh-oh.
Tons of ideas.
Tons.
I'm gonna head out. Write them down.
Tons of ideas. Good ideas? Maybe you want to run them by me?
Beautiful ideas.
Maybe I can look into them, maybe to check if they're really good ideas?
Nah, secret.
Well, Marcin started making his list that I'm definitely going to check because I'm just a little bit worried what's going to happen next. Click on the next video. We got the recipe written down for you on PitmasterX.com. Big thanks to the patrons and the YouTube members. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then,
Eet smakelijk.
and keep on grilling.